How's it going, everybody? I wanted to come on here and kind of give you guys an update on the 53 and the channel and life and projects and kind of what's going on. Got Sally's truck done, which was a big deal in my book, and so I got that project checked off the list and kind of opened up my opportunities to work on other things now. And you know, one of the things that my dad taught me that I've come to realize and recognize is you can't have perfection without practice. And with that, Dad's truck, the 53, is one of those trucks that he was striving for perfection. He may not have said it, but if you've been following the build, you know that that truck is it was done to perfection. Like, everything was thought out, planned out, fabricated, and done in a way that you would expect of a professional hot rod builder. And you know, over the years, I watched my dad work on other rigs. He worked on Mom's Ford pickup truck, did a bunch of work on that, mechanical work and body work and paint, and made that real nice for her. And then he did a bunch of work on the 87 step side and got that real nice, a bunch of body work and paint, and, you know, made that truck real clean. He helped me out with my 76 Crewcab back there. We did a bunch of body work on that and got that prepped for paint. And you know, he's helped friends and neighbors and people over the years to get their projects going. And I say all that because my dad learned how to do what he did with the 53 by having hands-on practice with those other projects. And kind of a trial by error, trial by fire, however you want to call it. And I am recognizing that that is a place where I'm at when it comes to the projects, and the 53 in particular. That truck is going to require a more advanced experience skill set than I have currently. And I say that because, you know, things like TIG welding, I got to TIG the exhaust together to make it right, to make it how Dad would have done it to that level. That truck deserves it. And that's the next thing that needed to be done on that truck, was the exhaust valve. So I need to practice. I need to get my skill set up. I got Dad's TIG machine here, and I haven't been able to use it yet because I haven't wired it up. It's I got to put a 100 amp service to it, or a 100 amp sub panel to it like he had. I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. Life's been busy. So once I get that wired in, then I can start playing with it and learn and figure out how to TIG and hone my skills in that regard. But there's other things that fabrication wise that takes experience, trial and error, and the opportunities to get that trial and error practice on some other projects is where I'm at right now. And you know, working on Sally's truck was part of that. I have my 76 Crewcab that I'm always tinkering with. I have my 67 Sport Fury that I'm going to 4-speed swap. I've got some body work that needs to be done on that car. Honestly, that's kind of down the road because that's, you know, a long time project. I have my Mustang police car I'm working on. I hope to really cut my teeth when it comes to body work and paint with that car, because that car is going to be I'm going to restore that as a Washington State Patrol car that it was. So, you know, so for the paint and bodywork side of doing things, I'm gonna cut my teeth on those cars so that I can get comfortable, make mistakes, and learn from those cars before I tackle the 53, because I plan to do everything for that, and not outsource it to a shop or somebody else. So I'd like to see it done here at home with the family, with my brothers. So, you know, the only thing I could potentially outsource that I can think of would be powder coating the frame. I think the rest of it is just all going to be paint. It's all going to be done here. So that's kind of where my mindset is with the truck, and where I envision that project continuing. You know, it took my dad a long time. I think they had that thing for 10 years, something like that, 9 years, 8 years, tearing it apart and putting it together and planning that out. So it isn't something that's going to happen overnight. And yeah, that's kind of where that's at. I will say I've been, you know, tinkering online and researching different trucks, different builds, and kind of seeing how other guys have done theirs to kind of help, you know, my mental planning for that. And I got it in my mind that it would be cool to have a Whipple supercharger or an LSA supercharger on that thing, and air conditioning and cruise control. I know Dad wasn't going to put AC in it, but I think AC would be worthwhile. And I think a Roots supercharger, a nice Whipple on there to bump that horsepower up closer to 600 would be pretty badass. So I don't know, down the road thoughts, right? So anyway, I've got another rig that I did a little short on, a 73 GMC that I bought like 6 months ago, and it's got a crazy diesel swap that was done many decades ago. And so I'm getting my hands dirty when it comes to fabricating. I fabricated up the whole exhaust system out of stainless in that truck, so I'm kind of getting an idea of how to do that, get some practice doing it. And you know, it's all learning, it's all trial by error. So I am going to show you guys the 53, where it's at, and kind of give you guys an update on that truck, because it's always going to be part of the channel. It's always going to be here. It's always something my dad envisioned finishing, and you know, we're going to finish it. I'm just want you guys to understand that it's going to take a couple years for me to build my skill set up to the point where I can feel comfortable giving that truck the attention it needs. And you know, there's obviously life and kids and work and finances that go and play with that. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of give you guys, like, I guess a walk around of some of the cars that I have here. And again, I'm going to touch and show you guys the 53 and where things are at with that. So stay tuned. So this here is my 1967 Plymouth Sport Fury, two-door hardtop. This car has it was originally a 318 two-barrel, 3-speed automatic car. Bought this when I was 14 years old, and when I was 15, and Dad and I pulled the motor and trans out of it, and we spent a year learning how to rebuild the engine. And this is that engine. This was rebuilt in 1999, 2000. So, you know, we're talking 24 years, or if my math is right. So this motor runs really strong, really solid. It's never been apart since we built it. Super reliable. I used to daily drive this car to high school and to work. And then when we moved to North Idaho, I daily drove this thing. Rain, shine, snow. In fact, I've still got the Goodyear Ultra Grip snow tires from Idaho on the front of it, because it needs a front end alignment, and I wore out the BFGs that were on it. So, but this is my beauty. I love this car. A lot of memories in this car, and it did not originally come with the tilt telly. I added the tilt telly column out of a 68, and I added the factory AM/FM to it. The gauge package down here, Dad and I put that in there. Good old auto meters. I need to fix the headliner. My mom helped me with that many, many years ago, and it's finally given way. But yeah, so this is a car that I have a 4-speed setup for it. So I parted out a 67 VIP Fury. That was a 4-speed car, which was super rusty. And I got all the 4-speed stuff out of it, and that's going to go in this. So she's a beautiful car. And this one I got, like I said, I got some body work I got to do around the back window. And the passenger quarter needs a little bit of rust work, but this is a car that I will never sell. It will be passed down to the kids, and it's my baby. And this here is my 1986 Mustang LX. It is an original Washington State Patrol car. It's a 5-liter, 5-speed, air conditioned, and it has rear defrost. It's kind of like the options it has. It does have the Satina roll bar that State Patrol put in it, still in it. She's a little rough, but she's got good bones. I built a replica switch panel for that lighting setup. I've got a lot of other police-specific parts for it to put it back to in-service condition. The light bar, the siren, and I've got the stuff to build the radio for it. I did put the correct spotlight on it. State Patrol ran the dual light setup, so it's got that. I refinished the wheels, and I did a bunch of paint prep work to get it to look crappy like it does. It was originally this, when I got it, the State Patrol had painted it this blue, and it looked like garbage. And so I just started sanding and got the original white to come out, so it looks a little better. It's just a fun beater right now, but super solid body, runs really good. Put new exhaust on it, and I made a mistake right after I put the exhaust on it and didn't check to make sure the hood was closed, and I had a hood fly up and it smashed in my cowl. So I got to fix my cowl. Fortunately, the roof and windshield didn't get broke in that process, but it dented up my hood and dented up my cowl. So that'll be part of the bodywork stuff I got to do with this. I do have a new hood for it, and I do have new doors. This door here got mangled at some point, and it's just going to be easier to start with a fresh door. And this one got mangled up here. Something hit it. But yeah, that's my police car. So this is gonna be completely redone. So this is what I hope to get my paint and body work practice on. A fairly simple car, not a very big car, should be easy to prep it, should be easy to paint it, and just kind of get my teeth cut on doing that myself. So that's it. 86 Mustang LX 5.0. This is what I have aptly called this GMC. I've called it the Coon Hunter. This is a 73 GMC K20. It's a factory 350 4-speed, 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive. And that's why I call it the Coon Hunter. It's an interesting truck. I bought this from Marketplace back in, I think it was March of this year. I wasn't looking for it. It was just one of those deals where I found it through a search and messaged the guy who didn't have a whole lot of info about it. And he sent me some more pictures of it. And I did some research, and I drove the 4.5, 5 hours to go look at it. And I bought it. And I bought it because of this. Right now, I've obviously, it's missing the radiator and some other things because I'm replacing the water pump down there. But this is a Detroit diesel, 6V53. So it's a six-cylinder V formation, 53 cubic inches per cylinder. And it's a twin turbocharged. There's one there, there's one there. 2-stroke diesel engine. This is something you would typically see in a medium duty semi truck. The motor itself, dry, is like 1,600 pounds, so it's extremely heavy, but it is extremely cool. And if you've ever heard a Detroit 2-stroke, they sound like nothing else. The other cool thing about this rig is the guy who did the conversion, he twin-sticked it. So it's got a 5-speed main, and then it has a 3-speed auxiliary, and then it has a married NP205 transfer case. So an NP540 5-speed main, and then it has a 5831 Spicer divorce mounted 3-speed. So it has a low range, direct, and then over. And then you've got your 5-speed here. First is your like ultra low, so you don't really use it, but and then the shifter for the transfer case. Figuring it out. Interesting build. You put the clock in that doesn't work. It's got a boost gauge right there. Dual pyros, because it's got 2 turbos, one on each side. He mounted that Stuart Warner diesel tach in the factory gauge cluster, which is cool. Totally works. The other gauges also work. Oil pressure, volt, all that stuff still works. And then a mechanical temperature gauge. It does have a PTO off of the transfer case, and the PTO is in there, and that runs this Braden winch, Braden PTO winch. It's a big boy. So front axle on this is a Dana 60. Rear axle is a corporate 14 bolt, and you can see the new exhaust that I built for it. It turned out really nice. I'm really pleased with it. The original exhaust that was on it was completely rotted out, so that's my first go at welding stainless wire and doing the exhaust, and so gonna get an idea how that turned out. Turned out real nice. I'm real happy with it. And I put the big boy stack soner, 5-inch miter cuts, make it bark. But yeah, this truck is a really interesting truck. Incredibly heavy duty and well planned design, well thought out. So we'll do more on this in the future. You know, obviously the truck's got some rust. The floors, the sills are pretty rusty, but as it sits right now, I'm not gonna do any cosmetics with this. I'm gonna leave it completely ratty because I think it looks good ratty. I love the two-tone. I love the wood grain. At some point in the future, I may end up doing a cosmetic restoration on it, but for now, this is the perfect look. So it's got a rear disc brake conversion. It does have the Firestone airbags, and the guy made these heat shields for both the tanks to keep the exhaust from cooking the fuel tanks. So pretty interesting. So yeah, there'll be more of this on the channel. I got some Jake brakes for it that I'm gonna put on it, but it's gonna require some fabrication. So I'm gonna end up having to move the Hydro Boost master cylinder and remote mount it. So I'm gonna have to fab up a bracket to move it over this way in some form or fashion, or possibly turn it off at an angle, because I don't have enough clearance between the valve cover and the master cylinder. I need a couple inches because the Jakes are gonna need the extra space. So so that'll be part of my fab project, figuring out how to do that, design that, fabricate that, and make that work. So not only that, I'm gonna be learning how to install Jakes and learn how to time the injectors and learn how to run the rack and kind of figure that whole process out. So you know, we'll go through that together, and I'm sure there's other guys that have put videos out on how to do it, but I'm gonna do it too, because we all got to learn somehow. And you know, yeah, so this is that truck. And this truck here, this is my 76 Ford F250 Ranger XLT Crew Cab. I've had this truck since 2010 or 2012. I can't remember. I'd have to look. I think 2010 is when I bought it. Bought it in Montana, and Dad and I did a lot of work to get it to look like this. I ended up having to get his help with cab corners and floors. He fixed the floor on this side, and then fixed a big hole problem on the driver's side there. Got that right, and ended up doing cab corners on it, and then we had it painted. And yeah, it's a factory 362 barrel FE V8 NP 435 4-speed NP 205 transfer case. It is a factory Dana 60 low pinion disc brake front end, and Dana 60 in the rear. This is the factory paint scheme that the truck came with. I'll pull it out of the garage here at some point. I just didn't want to do it because I got the tools on here as a tool bench. But this one's going to need some paint work because I'm sure you can maybe see the bubbles that are, there we go. Now you can see them. They're starting to show on this side. So something wasn't right in the prep work, and the paint's bubbling. So I'm gonna have to tackle that. And I just noticed this here. A little bubble right there. So, and then on the driver's side, I got a hole in it right here that I gotta redo. So, but yeah, this is hands down my favorite truck. I love driving this truck. I love everything about it. It's a truck I won't sell. It's gonna go to my kids. And I do have a 12 valve Cummins for it, and a 5-speed that I had originally planned to put in it. That's this beauty right here. So I don't know yet if I'm gonna put it in, to be honest with you. This is a great running motor. Rebuilt injection pump. It's got a new head gasket. If I remember right, the turbo's rebuilt. I believe the flywheel is new. I'd have to look at my paperwork on it, but awesome engine. And I was gonna put it in this, and then I kind of had second thoughts, and then I ended up buying that truck, which is an absolute towing monster. So I don't need a diesel in my crew cab now. And the other reason being is this truck, I think, is worth more value-wise original than it is with a diesel. So I may just end up leaving this as a gasser just for the value of it. I don't know yet. If I end up swapping it, that'll be part of the fabrication channel. But yeah, so that's my other truck, and that's my baby. I really like this truck a lot. Hands down my favorite. So well, here's 53. She hasn't moved since she's been put in here. It's been it's been a minute, and I've got a bunch of spare parts here from the original interior and trim and all that, and I put the whole front end of the truck back together, fenders and the grill, and Got the hood set up on it. And you can see his dad's LS3, and yeah. In the back there, I got, let's see if I can sneak my way in here. Oh, goodness gracious. I got all of his, all of the deals he made for supporting the cab and the body when he pulled it off the chassis. I've got all that stuff stored in here so I can keep track of it. And got a bunch of the parts here in the interior. Got the exhaust pipe. So all the exhaust for that. Got to build that. That's the next thing to do. And all the other parts and pieces that he has for the truck. Most of it's all boxed and labeled, and there is. This is bare steel. There's no rust on it. And it's been in here. Like I said, it's going on almost 2 years now. Yeah, bare steel in that frame, so. This Connex box has been a blessing for storage. It stays dry, and I haven't had any issues with the bare steel flashing over with rust or anything. It's just the way Dad had it in the shop in Idaho, so huge blessing. So the truck is safely put away until I'm ready to get it out and get the exhaust built for it. So